So for those of you that may not be aware of the new 30 and 30 that our Juice Plus company is doing, I just want to make sure that you really take advantage of October. Because have you ever heard of a company doubling your profits for the month of October? If you are a partner plus, or a QSC, and you happen to share information about a trio with someone, and they buy that trio, normally you would make $30. But in October, the company is doubling your income. So instead of $30 for that trio, you're going to make $60 for the same trio. And they're going to pay you the bonus money every week for the next 4 weeks. So you don't have to wait for your money. So October is a really big deal, whether you're a new partner or someone that's been around before a while and you're a partner plus, or a QSC. Every time you sell any capsule order or buy capsules for yourself, you're going to get double the money back. Bingo, bam, just like that. So you've just doubled. So think about this. If you're going for QSC in the month of October, with the doubling of your sales profit and your bonuses, you're going to make $1,000. So just the normal amount that you might make only $500 to $600, you're going to make at least $1,000 in October. So it's a really good month to really be thinking about who wants to get on Juice Plus and do you want to move to your next position. So just wanted to let you know that. And with that said, it is the first Tuesday of the month. Yeah, I got that right. It's October. Halloween is coming up. Oh my gosh, I have a friend that had brought 5 boxes of Halloween stuff over that her husband's been collecting for years. I am so excited to get all my Halloween stuff out, and it's not even something I normally do. I can hardly stand it. Okay, so so I'm excited about tonight's call. Because you know how I just said I hardly ever do this. I hardly ever, I can't remember the last time I had a Halloween party. Can't remember the last time I decorated for a Halloween party. But there's always an opportunity to reset, to change what you're doing and doing it in a new and different way. And so it just so happens that that's what our call is about tonight. I'm taking on a whole new look for my house for Halloween that I've never done before. I want a different atmosphere. I want it to be more fun. I want to be playful. And I usually don't do that. So I'm going to do that tonight. And we're going to talk about how do you make steps to revitalize yourself, to revitalize your business, to revamp. And so nobody better than Michael and Maraya Brown to talk about that. I always get this part wrong. So I'm going to say the initials. So Michael is an MSPT. I know he's his master's as a physical therapist. He's a NASCAR race driver. No, that's NSCA. I don't know what that stands for, Michael. Maybe you can tell us. What is NSCA?
National Strength and Conditioning Association.
Ooh, okay, cool. And he's a CSCS. What's that?
CSCS is Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist.
Okay, so he's like a certified conditioning everything. So he's the guy that you go to revamp your life physically, but he's going to talk about how that fits in any part of your life. And he's also a dad. Does DAD stand for anything?
Dynamic, awesome dude.
Oh, I knew it was something more than just dad. Thank you very much. And we've got Maraya Brown. I've always said she's a nurse practitioner, graduated from Yale, has caught lots of babies. She's an expert in functional medicine around hormones. She's been certified that way. I don't know what CNM is.
Yeah, that's certified nurse midwife. So okay, that's a nurse practitioner that specializes in OBGYN.
Perfect. I got that right. She's a CEO of her own company that she's been running for the last couple of years. And she's a mom. Now, besides mom, does mom stand for anything?
Michael, does it? You're the creative one here.
Magical obstetrical mystery.
Yeah.
I was going to say mermaid. That really didn't work. But I remember once I did something with mom, and I did it like a capital M and then a small O and then a capital M with a period in between, like PhD. And then I really figured out something really clever for what it stands for, but I don't remember what it is. So I'm absolutely no help. So we're going to get started right now. I just introduced them and we're going to make them bigger so you guys can all see them, spotlighting them right here. And we are so excited to have you talk to us about change.
Yeah. Ooh, about change. That's a nice little twist, Nikki. We could talk about change. And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, look at these familiar names, right? So Sandy Tabola and Janet Cook and Deb Rudloff and Heidi and Carrie. I mean, so Kirsten, it's Lisa. It's so fun to see Sheila. It's really fun to see familiar and Stephanie. And for those of you that don't know us, we joined with Juice Plus in 2007. I was just finishing up my nurse practitioner training at Yale, and Uncle Buddha is what we call him. So Chris Cotton was my hiking guide up Mount Shasta, and my body wasn't handling the elevation well. And he said, "Here, take these." And when I got down off the mountain, I said, "What is that?" He showed me the research, and I said, "Done." And I had just met this guy. He proposed our first date.
You
I was
betcha.
like, "Come on, we're gonna go do this together." And so we did, and we still do have a franchise, but we built up to QNMD. When did we cross the stage as QNMD?
Was that 17?
Yeah, I think maybe 2016 or 2017. And I just want to say out loud, for those of you that are early on, one of the really cool things about this personal development program, cleverly disguised as a business, where you get to help people realize their dreams and impact their health, is it really truly does and can create residual income. And Nikki, is it okay if I give a number? When we did the last call afterwards, I said, "Is it okay if we share numbers?"
I think so. Are they your numbers?
Yeah,
Totally.
I just totaled it up. So we kind of took a pause in like really actively building our Juice Plus business around early 2018. We've still always shared Juice Plus. Everybody that I work with, I mean, it's like, and it's of course in all of our bloods. It's been all three of my pregnancies, all my kids, they still take it. I think the Juice Plus company has paid us $180,000 without having to work.
And that comes from your original structure. And
Yep.
then
Yep.
I know that every month or so, I mean, they're still getting customers. Michael and
Yep.
Maraya are still getting customers, still getting partners. This is not their primary focus. It truly
Mm-mm.
is their side gig.
Yep.
But how cool is that? That is amazing.
That's a big
great.
deal. That's a big deal. And so just like just stay in line.
Yeah.
Don't get out of line. Okay, but we're talking about change. And as we were just kind of touching base before this, we thought, well, what does that look like? And when do we want change? When do we look for a reinvention? And so I think to start out, we had two questions to ask you. One is, if you're new, to get clear with, why am I doing this? What's my vision? And if you've been around for a long time, to revisit that.
Mm.
Like, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and I'd say go several layers deep.
Mm-hmm.
Even more than 4, 5, 6, 7. Mariah used to do an amazing training where she would take people down, and you'll have to excuse my voice. I was screaming all weekend coaching soccer. But once you get really clear on that why, and perhaps you've heard the expression, find the why that makes you cry. But once you get really clear on that why, write it down, print it out, and make sure that you have it have it around you to look at. Maybe it's a post-it on the car, maybe it's a little tab on your computer, because that becomes your guidepost for that will help you steer clear. That
Mm-hmm.
becomes your GPS, so to
Yeah.
speak.
And we were saying this is around change. This is around reinvention. And so first of all, I love, Nikki, that you brought in change, because change is honestly the most confronting thing that anyone can do. It is a direct onslaught to our unconscious brain, our unconscious mind, and we will, whether we know it or not, put up all the stumbling blocks, all the upper limiting. We get sick, our relationship goes astray, the car breaks down. There's always an excuse. There's something that we will do to prevent change. And so, how does change happen safely? I say just outside our comfort zone and in the community of the right people is where magic happens. And so, as you're approaching change in the space of reinvention, you get to step outside that comfort zone to the point that you're like, oh, palms sweating, stomach churning a little bit with the supportive community. And I think along the journey, one of the things that we were saying is let's take a personal account. So, what I want you to do is for the note takers, I see you writing down, write down pies. Everybody know how to spell pie? P-I-E, but make it plural and make it extra plural. So, we want three S's. Write down P-I-E-S-S-S. And if somebody could put this in the chat as I say it out loud, P stands for physical.
How are you feeling physically in your body?
Wait.
Sorry.
So
Go ahead.
P, physical. I, intellectual. E, emotional. S, spiritual. S, sexual. And S, I add the last S as sleep because I think it's that important. Okay. So go ahead. At P, physical.
Yeah. So P, physical, like how are you feeling in your body if you go and visit a grandchild? Do you feel capable to be able to get down on the ground? If you're with your kids at the playground, do you feel comfortable going and going climbing up a ladder and going down the slide?
So just write it down. Just jot down some
Yeah.
notes. Take a personal account. How am I currently doing physically?
Yeah.
What is working with me physically? What is not working with me physically? What do I long for in the long term? And when I look at how I'm currently showing up in the short term, am I taking the steps that are going to get me to that place? And I want you to give it, as you just jot down notes in each of these categories, give it a number 1 through 10. 10 being, this is like the most spectacular. This
Like a
area of,
perfect 10.
yeah,
I'm a
this area
perfect 10.
is so good. I know that I'm prioritizing it. It's amazing. Intellectually, I feel so stimulated. I feel so challenged. I know that I'm taking steps to take me towards the long term of what it is that I'm wanting to create in my life.
I'm reading great books. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm having intellectually stimulating conversations
Yeah.
that I feel like are moving me forward
Yeah.
in life.
Emotionally, am I allowing myself to feel? And how am I feeling? Am I sad? Am I ecstatic? Am I happy? Am I anxious? Just go through each one. Spiritual. How is my connection with God, universe, whatever word works for you?
Greater power, entity, energy.
Nature.
Yeah.
How am I prioritizing that? My sexuality. How is that being expressed? Is it a priority? My sensuality in the nature of my if you have a partner, if you're in a marriage, but even if not, it doesn't necessarily mean, sexuality. It means passion. It means my sensual body. How is that being expressed? And just give yourself a number. And what I'd like, go ahead.
I was just going to say also just the ability to look in the mirror and be like, gosh, I just love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I love you too,
Yeah.
but
And so what I want you to do is how many of you, just count them up. How many of you how many fives and belows do you have? Just put that in the chat. How many fives and belows do you have in your pies check-in? Just give a number.
my number for sleep is pretty low. I haven't been getting much sleep lately,
Yeah.
but
But my question is, of all of them, how many of them are 5 or below?
I probably do.
So
Six.
if you have five PIESSs and you have five next to each one, you have five fives.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
So if you count up just your fives, maybe you only have three fives and the rest of them are
Yeah.
6, 7s, and 8s.
Yep. And then, okay, so I'm seeing a lot of people are saying there's only one that's below a 5.
The scale
The
is
scale is 1 to 10.
10 meaning like I'm a perfect 10, I'm 100%.
Okay. All right. So, And okay, so now there's only one, there's zero, amazing. So we've got a lot of really high numbers. And how many six or above do you have when we PIESSS? So that would mean if it was zero before, then you should have a number six now. How many six and aboves do you have? Yeah, five, six. Amazing.
Awesome.
So that's spectacular. You are actively taking care of yourself physically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, and your sleep is amazing. Phenomenal. So now we look at, okay, what's next? If I'm going to be open to change, if I'm going to be open to a reinvention, obviously you're on this call. So you're hungry for something. You're hungry for something more. I would guess that it's in the realm of fulfillment and money and business and community and love. And so, what needs to change to start creating the actualization of those dreams? It seems like everybody is really solid in self care. So then we go, okay, what needs to shift in business? I'm making an assumption there. And people say, what's the definition of stupidity?
Insanity.
Okay, insanity? No, no, the definition of stupidity is not insanity. What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results.
Right. Okay. So, in what way are you in the midst of, here we are on this call for those of you wanting to build a Juice Plus business and impact more lives? What needs to shift? Right? What things are you doing the same that you did a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, expecting a different result?
I think that the piece that I would share is um, the coordinates that you punched into your GPS in life the past 10, 20, 30, 40 years has got you exactly where you are now. And so based on that, you can almost project and look into the future of where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And is where you're going exactly where your goals and dreams are? Is there maximal alignment?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not, then we need to start looking at this reinvention. We need to start reinventing our routine. We need to start reinventing our lifestyles, our relationships, relationship with self, people around us. And so as a physical therapist and as a personal trainer and coach, one of the things that I know about the way that muscles work is the routine that we used to get to the strength that we are at today. If we continue on that same path, eventually there will be what results in an overuse injury. There will be eventual burnout. So what we need to do is to continue to disrupt or interject or change or intervene with our routines for the intentional purpose of growth. And so if we're only doing, therabands, we're going to limit our growth. If we're only doing dumbbells, so we need to change the routine. And that's where sometimes we reach up to our upline and we say, hey, I'm recognizing I might be on this path, but I want to kind of shift the trajectory a little bit. What can I do differently? Um, and so we want to continue to move in that direction of growth for the sake of being better in ourselves, but also being better for others as well.
And so Nikki says, examples. Are you reaching out the same way? Are your reach outs true you, your nature, your values, authentic? As we usually begin, we sort of use a script. Now is the time to use the script of the heart. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. And the two things that I would say to that is, are you allowing yourself to focus on what pulls you? Or is the focus on what's urgent?
Hmm.
And I think right now we live in a day and age where there is so much noise. I don't know about you, but I'm getting email messages and DMs and Facebook and Instagram and Slack and WhatsApp and email and my kids are needing me, and the community's needing me, and school is needing me, and it is just like, wow. And we've got too many pots boiling at once. And so we're often like a ping pong ball, focusing on what seems urgent rather than allowing ourselves to quiet down the noise and bring it in so we can focus on what pulls us. So first we started with, why are you doing this? I didn't dig into it much. That's a whole hour-long call. But to allow yourself to really get quiet with why. What actually pulls me? The impact in the world, the impact in the community, the impact in my friends, the impact for myself, the impact for my family, the impact for my future, my legacy. What pulls me? And where can I quiet down the noise? You've already taken account of, how am I doing physically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, sexually, and with my sleep? And maybe you're going, I can see that there's some numbers that are lower. That I need to spend a little bit more time and energy on those things so that I'm here and I'm present and fully embodied in the best version of me. And to get quiet with, am I allowing myself to look long term and focus on the things that really pull me? And so instead, we were talking about, what are the ways that we can quiet down, and what are some things that we can do today that limit the noise of what we think is urgent, but actually really isn't.
I was going to say, ultimately, the goals and the dreams that we have our are ours alone. So the goals and dreams that Maraya has, those are hers. And we may share in some of them, but ultimately it is up to each of us to become the gatekeeper for our goals and dreams, because it's up to us to make them happen. If somebody does it for us, then it doesn't have the same energy around it and fulfillment. And so when we look at what's coming in, using that word noise, when we look at the noise that's coming into our world, is what we're allowing to come in helping us to move forward towards our goals and dreams, towards our vision? Or is it pulling us away? Is it distracting us? Is it a knock on the door when you're in the middle of a phone call? I mean, a work call.
Mm-hmm.
So really being focused. And the thing is you are the gatekeeper. If something is distracting you from your goals and dreams, it's because we didn't set up a firm enough boundary.
Yeah.
And so I love this example. I was just going through a coaching program, and one of the things that the coach said is, when you are checking your email, unsubscribe everything that is not in alignment to your goal and your dream.
Because
Just
what we get to do is we get to have tunnel vision. Like when it's time to build, you have clarity on a path of where it's taking you. You get to have tunnel vision and figure out, where am I allowing the noise? So this example of, can you unsubscribe tonight? Go through your inbox. What things are they just sit there, they never get opened? Unsubscribe if it's not serving you. Can you go
and
ahead?
here's the really powerful thing that I've been playing with is because I'd often drive myself crazy going through the entire inbox, but just every day when I open up my email, if there's something that comes through, I simply unclick and say thank you, but you no longer serve me. This is no longer serving my highest path. And that practice then becomes okay. And then someone might come into your world, right? Maybe on Facebook or social media, and you just might get a vibe or a spider sense that, like, hey, you know what, this person doesn't feel like this is serving my highest purpose, so
Right.
I'm going to continue to move forward in that direction. It kind of reminds me of when we read the giant leap,
Big leap.
the big leap. I knew it was large. um when we read the big leap and we learned about the enlightened no,
Yeah.
we're saying no to these things so we can ultimately say yes to me and my path.
Yeah. Because what I want to say is, You're wanting to attract customers and you're wanting to attract team and you're wanting your customers to attract team, which ultimately requires that those individuals you're talking to trust you, right? Know, love, and trust. And you know what builds their trust in you? When you trust yourself. And so when we allow ourselves to get clear with, okay, I'm going to create some disruption. I'll either create disruption or I will be disrupted. I'd rather do it myself. I'm clear on what I want to create. I'm taking account of my self-care. I'm going to get tunnel vision. This is the time. Nothing is stopping me. I'm building this thing. Where can I embed my absolute conviction and trust in myself? Because I'm doing the work to take care of myself physically and intellectually and emotionally and spiritually and sexually, and my sleep is important. I'm pouring into my personal development and I'm setting the boundaries. So we said unsubscribe, turn off notifications on your phone. Go into the notification section, turn them off. Can you set a timer of how much time you allow yourself to mindlessly just play on social media? Can you set a time period where you're going to choose not to watch television? You're going to stop watching the news. You're going to put the television in the garage for a chunk of time. In our world, we've never had a TV in our home for the 16 years we've been together. It's not what serves us. And we're both very clear on that. That doesn't mean it has to be your decision. But where are you allowing energy suck, the seeping, the leaking out to get in the way of your tunnel vision, your dream creation, your reinvention? Okay. Where are you doing the same things over and over? And what did you call it? Repetitive injury?
Overuse.
Overuse
Yeah.
injury. And if instead we go, no, 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 I'm embedding my trust in myself. I trust and know that this goal will be accomplished. I'm going to set boundaries in a loving way. And I love that when you click the unsubscribe, you do it with a thank you. But by unsubscribing, this is helping me achieve my goal. This is keeping me focused on my tunnel vision because I have big impact I want to have in this world. I want to leave a legacy. I want to really impact people's lives from a health perspective. I want to help people's financial well-being, whatever it may be. That's my tunnel vision. And now I'm embedding my trust in myself and my potential and my dream. And the more that there's clarity and embedded trust in yourself, it will be felt, it becomes palpable, and the people you talk to will also trust you.
So, two things I wanted to say to this topic right now is when we stand in our light, it's with intentionality and consciousness. when we when when we activate our intention and activate our consciousness, then we choose how to respond. We then apply our power to choose how to respond to what's coming in life. When we operate from our subconscious or our unconscious, that those are all of our default programs, and that's where the reactions come in. But if what we really want is to create a life and legacy that is different than what was, then we need to be thinking different, acting different, and being different than what was, and ideally actually more in alignment with who we know ourselves to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that requires flexing the conscious muscle, flexing the intention muscle. And just like if you want to get stronger muscles, you need to work them and challenge them. Life has a beautiful way of giving us those very opportunities. And I love, there was a morning meditation I listened to once, and it said, either you can either choose to say that life is happening to you or life is happening for you.
And by you. This is
or in
I
the
don't know
bayou.
about that meditation, but what I say, because I like myself better than the meditation.
Well,
I say life is not happening to me, it's happening for me and by me. Life is not happening to me, it's happening for me and by me. Okay, go ahead. And Nikki, are we supposed to be stop talking at 30 after, or is this an hour-long call?
It's a 30-minute call, but we can go another few minutes so that.
Okay, all right, okay.
Michael can
And there's a
tell his-
question in the chat
And then
too.
Michael, you can say your meditation, why you say it that way. What does that mean to you? And then once he says what it means to him, you'll understand why Maraya added the buy.
Okay. So for me, what's really empowering about that is the universe or God or greater power source and whatnot has our back, has our best interest in mind and heart
Yeah.
and in soul. And so when I look at life happening for me, there's opportunities there for me to take advantage of in order to grow and become more fully expressed in my soul's spiritual purpose. So for me, that really resonates.
Mhm.
If you want to elaborate on the bayou, you're born on the
In New
bayou.
Orleans to the bayou. Hey, so Michael, someone
Okay.
asked you, are you saying thank you, but no, it no longer serves me to yourself, or are you saying it actively to the thing that you're unsubscribing to?
Oh, the thing that I'm no longer the thing that I'm no right. So I'm saying, what would be an example of something I just unsubscribed to?
The Four Sigmatic emails.
The Four Sigmatic emails that I get inundated with. Thank you, Four Sigmatic emails. At one point, you served me to allow me to get to this point in my life, but you're no longer needed as I move forward.
And we'll continue to drink your lovely adaptogens.
And actually, there's a really sweet book that Dr. Wayne Dyer wrote for children about his daughter, and she had a condition with
Bumps.
And he actually told her this specific thing to say, thank you, Bumps. I appreciate you being involved in my life, but I'm no longer needing you and you're welcome to go away. And after so many weeks of doing that intentionally, applying the consciousness, the bumps went away.
So the question
Anyway.
is, where are you allowing distraction to get in your way? Excuses, victim mentality, pointing the finger at someone else. Getting busy, getting ready to get ready, allowing whatever distraction is getting in the way to become an excuse instead of being really laser sharp and saying, I'm going to try to do the same. I'm going for the same goal. I'm going to try it new ways. And I'm going to be very laser sharp and focused. And I'm going to figure out ways to quiet down the noise so that ultimately my self-care is a priority. My relationship with God and family, whatever are your core pillars, they be the things that take you that are the noise, and we find ways to quiet down the rest. Heidi says, I love Four Sigmatic. Me too. And Anima Mundi and Rasa, but that's a totally different conversation. So
does anybody have any immediate questions before we go
yeah,
into
we're
conclusion?
done. Yeah, what's the conclusion? Anybody have questions? Put it in the chat.
Yeah, I think that would be great if anybody has a question, if they need guidance on something, what would you do if you got?
Yeah,
some
or
good
reflection.
right
Yeah,
here?
what jumped out at you?
Yeah.
Any specifics where you're like, well, what do you think about this? Did you say this and mean this other thing? Put it in the chat.
Clarification, nuggets, pearls of wisdom.
Yeah.
Any or all the above.
If you want to share, what are you clear that we are going to change?
Ooh, that would be
What steps do you feel like, this is a step. This is
I
a
have-
thing that I'm willing to change. Go ahead.
I have to say, just in the last 2 weeks, I mean, I've been hearing about the email thing for, a year. This is not new, right? I think we probably all have, but about 2 weeks ago, I started going through them and just deleting them, and it felt so good. And say, for example, somebody like Four Sigmatic that you love their stuff, I kind of felt guilty about getting rid of it. Like, would I miss a sale? Would I miss something? And then it was no. I can find that out. I know who I like. I don't need to have their emails to tell me how much I like them. But it was interesting making the decision to delete somebody that I actually appreciated, but I don't need to see their emails. It was just a funny thing.
Yeah. You
Mhm.
know, the fascinating thing about this during this one particular coaching, when he was talking about deleting emails, he said, if it comes up and you need to find that information, you'll be able to find it.
Yeah, it's called Google.
You know, you don't need to be, but you don't need to be inundated with the noise,
Yeah.
right? If you're like, oh gosh, I wonder what's happening with my whatever account, well, then you go and you find it.
It's the same with notifications. Can you turn them off? And now you're going to that place to respond or actively focus on it because this is your time block and this is when you're intentionally saying, this is my focus, not because it's constantly bombarding your energy and inundating. And I see Heidi, she says, I'm so grateful for my mindset and staying the course and focusing on helping people during a tragedy. Absolutely. And I think we all get to ask ourselves questions. I'm grateful for my mindset. I'm grateful for my focus. Is it getting me where I'm wanting to go? Let's be really honest with ourselves. If you're going to put it into three big categories, it's health, love, and money. Like, really be brutally honest with my mindset and my focus. And I look at the steps that I've been taking for the last 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, years. Are they actually actively creating more money, more love, more health? And if not, it's time to change. And sometimes that's really confronting.
And
And
I
it's
just
not,
want to say that those three are Mariah's. They may not be yours. Those don't have to be everybody's same three. Or do you think those have to be everybody's same three?
well, I think the
Maybe.
coaches that I've trained with, what I've been taught is that true fulfillment, particularly in the realm of entrepreneurs, is when those three have been achieved. Um, I'm totally open if you're saying there's others for you personally, but I would dare to say that most other things likely can find their way into the same buckets. And who knows, maybe for someone else they say, I mean, how many people do we know that have wealth but don't have love or don't have health? Or they have health and they have wealth but they don't have love. Or they have love and they have wealth but they don't have health. So, what is it that you want? What steps are you taking? Are they actively showing you and getting you to where you want to be? And if not, it's time for some disruption. What needs to change? It's confronting,
Yeah,
but what needs to change?
I love it.
Um, right. Heidi says, I have my health and love and I'm increasing my wealth. Absolutely. And if you can say the steps that I'm taking are showing me evidence that it's continuing to grow and it's getting me there, awesome. Is there something that can be tweaked? Is there something that can change? And that's why, Michael says he hires a coach. I hire a coach. You guys hire a coach. You have Nikki. Like, sometimes we need that reflection from outside of us to say, here, or it's prayer, or it's meditation, or it's just simply going inside to say, where can the disruption come in?
So I'd like to disrupt something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just occurred to me, and I never, in all the times, in all my years doing pies, um, I never thought of it this way. But what if, so when you're rating your pies, what if your perfect 10 of today is really a 6 of tomorrow? So just throwing that out there.
What do
If,
you mean by that?
well, what I mean by that is um, there's always room to grow. There's always, so again, applying that intentionality. Um, there's always different adventures to be had in all of those different categories,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
I think though,
like,
I think maybe what I'm hearing you also say, Michael, is that sometimes we say that we're a 10, which is amazing, and it allows us to be complacent. So it's kind of
well, there's
like,
that too. Yeah.
but I'm just saying that a lot of times people are confused because they feel like if they're happy, they shouldn't want more. And that's where the confusion comes in. Being happy doesn't mean that you don't want more, something different, some disruption, some change, and you can still be happy with what you have. So you could be a 10 today and tomorrow that could change, but just keeping the idea that, you're not complacent with your 10.
Yeah.
Because then your
And
10 will turn into
Well,
some number.
so this example comes in from our years of doing Juice Plus, and I know we're kind of elongating here, but
Yep.
how many conversations have we had with friends, family, strangers, etc., and we start talking about their health or their dietary habits, and they're like, "Oh, I eat great," and then all of a sudden we start asking some deeper questions around that, and realize they're only eating maybe two colors, and they didn't realize that their eating great should actually be, 5 or 7. So
or
it,
all they eat is meat.
but I'm eating great.
I'm on the keto diet. It's awesome. I have no color.
So I'm just like being open to, continue to grow,
Yeah.
being open.
And so we're grateful for you. We're grateful for your time. I see someone said they would add spirituality into that bucket. I put spirituality in the love bucket.
So would I.
For
'Cause-
me, yeah, go ahead, Nikki.
Well, I just agree with you that spirituality is the bottom line. I think in every religion and every spiritual anything is to come from love,
Yeah.
the love flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's him, if it's nature, if it's universe, if it's within me, if it's whatever, that's part of the love bucket.
If you're
But I have
practicing
love.
love, you've reached
Yeah.
10 in spirituality, in my
Yeah.
world. In my
Love for myself, love for God, love for those that I love, my ability to receive love, to receive the gifts that I pray and ask for. I put that in the love bucket. So anyway, anything closing remarks, you go. And then my guess is Nikki has something to say too.
I think we're good. I think we could continue to keep going, and it would be really fun and whatnot. But
It's just fun to
I
be
think it's
back.
time.
Nice to be back in the Juice Plus world. Could reach out to us. We're both very approachable. If there's something
Yeah.
else that really pulled you or called you, reach out, say it, ask it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
be willing to receive whatever our response is, right? Believe, ask, believe, receive.
Achieve.
No, there's only
But
3
don't
steps.
sneeze.
Unless it's Michael doing it, then there's 4 steps. Got an extra ingredient in the soup.
All right. Moving forward.
Nikki, closing remarks.
I just adore the both of you. It's just fun to see you be together, work together, play off of each other. It reminds me of lots of good stuff in my life doing that same thing. And it's just been great. And I hope all of you on the call tonight really do some dib deeking. What I just say,
Geek digging.
deep digging. I can't say it. So that you really are very clear about what your why is, to the place where it's not just that it makes you cry, it's absolutely touches deep to your soul, to your heart, that it is a thunk. Like, this is it. I've landed. And when you feel like you've landed, and I think that that's that place where, the intersection between what absolutely gives you total joy and the work that you do, when those two things intersect, life is good. So find the intersection, because that is the sweet spot when your basic core values come together with what you're doing in life every day, who you're being with, what you're saying. When they all meet up at the same spot, it's magic.
Yeah.
Magic.
Totally
Yeah.
agree. Buddha said it's a personal development program cleverly disguised as a business.
So all of you have a great rest of the week. We love all of you. Come to Charlotte. It's going to be amazing. I think this conference is going to be one of the best in years and years. I think Travis has really flipped us all. Talk about disruption and change. We've not seen so many things come down the road in the last 3 months since Travis has been here. Got on in July, August, September, October, lots of stuff coming down the road. So pay attention so you can take advantage of everything, and it's going to all come out in Charlotte. All right, everybody unmute yourselves and give a great big warm.
Love you.
Love you.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you so much.
Sure,
Thank you.
sure. Good night, everybody.
Love
You
you
guys.
guys.
Thank
So good to
you,
see
everybody's
you.
faces.
you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Nikki.
Yeah, thank you, you guys. That was fun.